imagine being chained to a bed, malnourished, and injuries associated with that. I would call that torture. A 17-year-old girl called 911 from a deactivated cell phone and reported that her siblings were being held against their will and some were chained. She explained that she had escaped through a window from that residence. The 17-year-old also showed some photos that led the deputies to believe that the information she was provided was accurate. Deputies, when they arrived inside the house, they noticed that the children were malnourished, it was very dirty, and the conditions were horrific. There were 3 individuals that were chained to some type of furniture inside the residence. It seemed that the mother was perplexed as to why we were at that residence.
It's hard to think of them as adults when you first see them because they're small, and it's very clear that they're malnutrition.
In cases of starvation, we would have to slowly start to feed them to avoid any problems that refeeding may cause. If you've been deprived of normal childhood activities, normal interactions, and the people who should have been providing for you have failed to do so, that is going to cause some psychological damage.
They've gone through a very traumatic ordeal. I can tell you that they're very friendly. They're very cooperative, and I believe that they're hopeful that life will get better for them after this event.
More than 3,000 schools, private schools, were registered in the years 2016 to 2017 in the California state. You know, to have that many registered private schools and not have any one of those be that Turpin family's home, they're, you know, who's supporting them and who looks into this and who's accountable for not sort of doing their job properly, in my opinion. You know, these parents don't have, like, I believe that they felt they had the right to do what they did, but they had the right to do that the proper channels. They had to follow the proper channels in order to do this. And then you have to be accountable for your children at that point. So, you know, I'm not sure what authority didn't do their job properly here, but I do feel like there should be some sort of disciplinary action along the chain as far as who was supposed to check up on these things. Certainly the school that was involved before these children were taken out, the principal, the board, some of these people, the teachers, should have come forward and explained why these children are not here, and there should have been some concern that was voiced and something that was done about this. It may have prevented some of this situation from going as far as it did.
They didn't speak. They kept to themselves. I never saw the kids by themselves. The parents were close around. But I believe that they, even though I thought they were kids because they physically looked like preteens, I don't believe they were. I think these were the 20-year-olds.
Reading now that the California private schools operate outside the jurisdiction of the education department and most regulations. The state actually has no authority to monitor or evaluate them So there would be an issue, I think. Just because you have a private school, in my opinion, doesn't mean you need to stop monitoring that situation. Clearly, there's some people who will abuse their position and power. And if we allowed everybody to private school their kids, what kind of a world would we have once everybody was educated, right? So I think that the California state should relook at that law, in my opinion, and maybe monitor the children that are being taken out of public schools to be private schools, to make sure that that is within the best interest of the child. And that is something that's Canadian more so than U.S., the best interest of the child. But I believe that it is something it's really well worked here in Canada, and I think that it's a really good thing to go by. Not so much so you're not on the mother or the father's side at that point. You're just for the child. So that's what makes that so good, in my opinion. If you haven't yet clicked subscribe to my channel, please click that red button below. And if you'd like to be notified of my videos first, then click that little bell and the notification will be sent as soon as I post. Thanks for watching, folks, and take care out there. Stay safe.